Welcome to Imprint, a podcast about creating a home and life you love. I'm Natalie Walton, an interior designer, stylist, and best-selling author focused on an holistic approach to homes. Each week, I'm sharing insights and interviews about the creative process to help you enhance both your interiors and well-being, as well as provide you with the tools and resources to make considered and sustainable choices with all that you create. Hello everyone, welcome to Imprint. I wanted to sneak in a little special episode for you because recently I have, for the whole year, I have been coaching creative business owners. I've actually coached more than 100, and I did a bunch of sessions yesterday, and it left me feeling so inspired because I've really noticed some patterns. So I've been coaching interior designers, shop owners, photographers, health coaches, holistic estheticians, I can never say that word. And I have noticed a pattern when I've been speaking to various people. There's a distinct difference between those who are making real progress in their business and those that are getting stuck and struggling. And so I've really identified 5 clear markers that are visible with everyone who is enjoying success and improvements and growth in their business. And also not just those kind of outward results in terms of their business, but also that inner confidence that starts to grow. And then that has this beautiful compounding effect that when we start to implement, when we start to get results, then we start to feel more confident ourselves. So then we implement more, we get better results, and it just snowballs and it grows. And before we know it, we've grown this beautiful business that is something that we really love, that we're really passionate about, and it's reflected also in our bank balance, which is obviously, where so many of us want to be. We want to have that creative connection, doing something that we really enjoy. Many of us want to feel that we're making some kind of contribution, we're making some difference to the lives of others, whether we're creating beautiful products, whether we're doing work that's meaningful, that feels good for us and feels authentic and in integrity and in alignment. These are certainly values that are really important to me. And I know so many of the people, in fact, all of the people who are inside my group coaching program, Design and Grow. So I wanted to share what these 5 markers are with you today, because I think that it might be really helpful to give it as a checklist for yourself to see where you are at right now and perhaps what you need to work on, because it's so easy to get stuck. It's really easy to be captive to your thoughts and your limiting beliefs, and really, those hold you back. You get kind of in this loop of thoughts that just don't help you, and you just can't get out of them. You can't move beyond them. And ultimately then you just don't see any improvement because you just keep yourself stuck in so many different ways. So today I want to share with you what I've seen work over and over again. And, there is just so much noise online right now. I've got a friend and she said, she's really switched off from Instagram because she feels like everyone's, pushing themselves out there as being like an expert at this and telling you should do this and you should do that. And I completely understand. There is so much, noise in that kind of online world in relation to all of these things. And it can make you feel really anxious. It makes you feel like you're not doing things right, or that everyone else is succeeding and winning, and you might feel like you're not ever going to get there. So what I want you to know, first of all, in relation to that, is that, despite what all of this kind of rhetoric is online, success isn't overnight. And there isn't like one single magic bullet or like one single magic system that is going to transform everything and make everything rosy in terms of, that it's going to be this easy ride. And because that's just not true. However, there are things that definitely work. And I have seen these over and over again. And I think that, there are strategies and there are so many different types of businesses. And of course, there are strategies that are more uniform, but we always need to apply it to our own business. And this is where like coaching can really come in handy, because obviously when you've got somebody helping you adapt those strategies for your business in terms of like, okay, this is a concept that works. This is a general strategy that works. But for your business, what you can do is you can tweak it this way, or you can apply it this way. And that's what I was doing actually with so many of the people that I was speaking to yesterday within Design and Grow. So I really want to share with you today, like I said, these 5 markers of a success, and I hope that they're going to be really helpful for you. Now, before we get into it, I do want you to know that I'm going to be teaching a free workshop this week. So this episode should be going live on Tuesday, Australian time, and the workshop is going to be on Thursday. So there's not much time for you to register for this workshop. And it's if you are a creative business owner and if you are wanting to get more clients and more cash flow and really start to thrive in your creative business, and this is for you. So if that's of interest to you, I really recommend you maybe even just press pause right now and go and register now, because it's only 2 days between when this episode goes live. And obviously, depending on if you listen to it as soon as the episode drops. So you don't have much time to go and register. I have put a link in the show notes. So go to nataliewalton.com/roadmap. I really don't want you to miss this. If you've got a creative business and you're really wanting to make this last quarter the best quarter that it can be. And I don't want you to think that, you know, maybe you've faced some challenges this year and you've kind of thrown in the towel and you think, oh, you know, it's just not working out and you feel so defeated. I don't want you to feel like this. And because there is still time to make a difference, there is still time to make an impact, and there's still time for you to start getting more clients, get more cash flow, and really implement systems that can help, you know, set you free in your business in terms of it doesn't have to all be working on you. Recently, I have been taking on more interior clients, and my business is, I've got 2 businesses that are still running like clockwork in the background because I've set up the systems so I don't have to be in those businesses every single day. So I've got Imprint House, and that is still running. And I've got, my sort of education business, and that's still running. And there is so much of that that is set up. And so it can happen. You can still pursue the work that you really love when you've got the right systems in place. So anyway, I'm going to be talking about some really key ideas with you, some key steps that you need to take to really get to that point. So if that's of interest to you, go to nataliewalton.com/roadmap, and I look forward to seeing you there. But now, if you've done that and you're back with me and you've pressed play again, I am really excited to share with you these 5 markers of success, because like I say, you know, when you see so many different businesses, like I said, I speak to interior designers, interior photographers, different types of coaches, and, different kind of like e-commerce and physical stores and all of those things. And these really are the consistent threads that I see throughout these people. And interestingly, I have a very international group within my program. So this is true of people in Australia, in the US, in the UK, in Germany, in Ireland. I've got someone in Greece. I've got people all around the world, Argentina. So this is true. It doesn't matter where you live in the world. These ideas work. Okay, so the first one is that they make time to work on the business. They're not just in the business. And so what this means is that they act like a business owner. So they're not just being a freelancer or a contractor or a technician, whereby they're, putting their services out to the public or their product out to the public, and they're just doing that transactional relationship. Instead, they are taking time to dedicate a certain number of hours each week. Some of them it's a day, some of them it's like, okay, I do this on Monday morning or I do this on Friday morning, but they set aside time each week to work on their business. And also, I can see within the program, they show up to the sessions, they do the work, they go through the trainings, they're really doing the work. It's very easy to, buy a course or a program or sign up for something or download a lead magnet or watch some videos. And, you can kind of feel like the act of like purchasing a program or purchasing a course, it makes you feel like, oh, I'm taking action. But while that is an important step, even more important is that you actually then do the work when you're inside the course or you're inside the program or when it's related to your business, that you're not just, fulfilling the service, but you're actually taking the time to take that sort of 30,000 foot view of your business and be strategic about what are the areas of my business that converting or bringing in the most money. How can I do more of that? And looking at like what you need to focus on. For some people, I've got somebody in my program who's been in business for 18 years. She's been in this business for a long time and she's got a phenomenal amount of experience. So for her, the concern is not about how do I get my first client. It's really about those systems. It's about managing team. It's about managing her time, all of those things. And, this is the thing that, different levels, there are different devils. So, but wherever you are, you still need to spend time working on your business, not in your business, because that relates to whether you need to be generating more leads, whether you need to be implementing systems, whether you need to be hiring people. It doesn't matter, but you really need to take your business seriously. You need to show up as a professional. And sometimes you even need to do this before you're ready. Or if you feel resistance to doing this, you probably need it more than you realize. Because when you feel that resistance, that's often because something in your business is actually out of control. And you need to regain that control. You need to stop going from being so reactive to everything in your business to being proactive. How do you become proactive? You need to set aside time to put strategies in place. So that is the first marker that I want you to think about right now with your creative business. Are you spending time each week to work on and not just in your business? Are you spending time each week to, really work as the business owner and not just be fulfilling, product or clients or doing that kind of technician style work? So that is a really important marker in terms of the success of your business if you are going to be able to grow it. And also if you're going to ultimately be able to have more sense of ease in your business and it's not just going to be stressful and reactive all the time. The second important marker is that they don't just consume, they create. What do I mean by this? They are implementers. The people who are seeing the best results are really coachable. What do I mean by this? So in our one-to-ones or in the community, because I'm always in there and answering people's questions in between the one-to-ones, they are really open to suggestions. They really listen and they implement. I've got one particular woman that comes to mind and she's amazing. And she has got an antiques business and she just listens to everything that I say, takes copious notes, and she really implements every idea and strategy that I share. And she comes back and she shares her wins because they work. I'm not telling people to do things that are like this crazy, wacky idea. Like these are clear systems and strategies, and they're ones that have worked for me and they're ones that I've seen work for other people. But, it can be really easy to turn up to, say, a coaching session or, even if it's like you're in an online course or whatever it is, and you can like watch a video or listen to some content and you kind of go, oh, that's nice. Yeah, that makes sense. But if you don't actually do the work, if you don't actually implement the ideas that, I suggest or whoever is your mentor, if you don't do that, you're not going to get results. And that's where you can get stuck, is that you're just consuming the content and you're kind of nodding your head, but you're not actually moving with your feet. We need to have success. We need to not just, have that mental connection where it's like, oh yeah, that's a light bulb moment. That makes sense. I understand that. Yes, of course I need to do that. But we need to walk with our feet. We need to, take action, move into action to get those results. And again, this is something that I see over and over and over again. It's not always easy. It's not always, it sometimes can push us out of our comfort zone. I know with some people, they're still struggling to manage their time. And so if, for instance, I'm thinking of one particular woman who is an interior architect, and I encourage her to start sharing more on Instagram because she's actually already got, and I had someone yesterday, the same thing. You've got beautiful images on your website, and they're not on Instagram. You need to get them on Instagram. Like, that is not hard. You've got the imagery already. So don't make it so hard for yourself. You're putting hurdles in your way that you don't need to be putting. So, and this person who is, she's based in Germany, and she started posting on Instagram, and she's getting people reaching out to her. Like, it works. These things work, but and some of them are really simple. Some of them are more nuanced depending on, the particular struggle within the business. But we really need to implement. We need to actually create, move into action, and not just consume all the time. The third marker that I want to share with you, and again, this has shown up over and over again, is that they don't try to be perfect. They take imperfect action. Now, when I say they don't try to be perfect, I mean, obviously nobody is necessarily doing that consciously. Well, not most people. However, they don't let their perfectionist tendencies hold them back or get in their way. Because I've shared many times, I have perfectionist tendencies, but I don't let that keep me stuck. I kind of recognize them, that like, oh, I'm feeling like I really want to make this X, Y, and Z and all of these things. And, but I don't let that keep me stuck. I don't let that hold me back. Instead, I take imperfect action. I realize that, done is better than perfect. I know I've said that many, many times, but it really, really is. Sometimes it's really easy to get stuck wanting to make everything line up, everything perfect, and feel like we know all the answers before we even begin. And look, yes, educating yourself, knowing and understanding strategies, those are all things that can help you with your creative business. But this is important. If you are just spending all your time trying to create the perfect runway or the perfect system or the perfect offer or the perfect website, and you are actually not making any progress on that thing, I would actually say that within any area of your business, if anything is taking longer than a month, it's taking too long. So if you're working on your website and you've been working on your website for longer than a month, it's taking too long. You should have something up and running within a month. The same with Instagram, the same for like reaching out to get new clients. None of these things are actually hard, and none of them actually take a lot of time. So if you are taking longer than that, you are holding yourself back because you're wanting everything to be perfect, and you actually won't get results. The best way to get results is actually put yourself out there with a minimum viable product, get feedback from your prospective clients, from the audience, from, whoever and wherever, get some kind of feedback, iterate and improve. That is the best way to get results. I did a recent episode where I shared about perfectionism and procrastination, and that there really are two sides of the same coin. And what happens is that it makes us feel safe. When we are like, we're busy, we're doing busy work, but we're not actually focused on results-based work. So just check in with yourself. Are you doing busy work or results-based work? Work that actually, you've got a very tangible result by the end of that period of time. And, I love a deadline. For those of you who have been listening for some time, and if you're new to this podcast, I am a huge believer that you need to give yourself deadlines. So if you are talking about, I'm updating my website, give yourself a deadline. When are you going to have it finished? Don't say like by the end of the quarter. bring it much tighter than that. Like just focus on it, get it done, and then move on to the next thing, because it's so easy to get caught in this perfectionist trap. Instead you need to take imperfect action. And I want you to know as well that you will make mistakes. And I think that this fear of wanting everything perfect is because we think like, I don't want to make mistakes. I know of some people who have been burnt in other businesses and they don't want that to happen this time around. They realize the mistakes that they made, and that's good. It's good to reflect and acknowledge that what worked, what didn't, but don't get stuck feeling that everything has to be perfect before you even begin. And, and I know of others who they're actually just afraid to start. So they are really holding themselves from putting themselves out there, getting feedback. And you need to, actually in one of the sessions yesterday, I was saying it's really a good idea to create a minimum viable product and to earn while you learn. So what I mean by this is that if you're just waiting and waiting and waiting, you've got to think about the compound impact of not taking action. So say, for instance, if you are holding back from, like, say you're an interior designer or you want to be an interior designer and you're holding back from reaching out to get more clients. And so every month that you're like, I've got to get my website right, or I've got to get my offer right. And this is going on and it's been months, and now it's 6 months, and now we're in September, and it's like, how many months? It's, 3 quarters. We're about to go into the 4th quarter of the year, and you still haven't really been proactive to go out there and get more clients. There's a compound cost to that, because what happens is it's not just, I'm just going to throw an arbitrary number, right? Say, for instance, for each client, you earn $5,000 or $10,000, right? I'm just going to say 10,000, so it's a nice, easy number. So say, for instance, for each client, you might have earned $10,000 a month, just one client a month and you get $10,000. So not only are you not earning that $10,000 for those months, so now we're in month 9, so that's, $90,000. So not only have you not earned that $90,000, but you've also not got those referrals from all of those clients. There's the compound effect of that. You also haven't improved your systems. There's so many other areas of your business that don't compound as well when you hold back. Whereas when you take action, and even if you start doing something for free, or you start doing something for $1,000 and you get some feedback, you get some testimonials, you can add them to your website, you can add them to your Instagram. Then people start to see, oh, she's doing interior design work, or she's doing interior photography, or whatever it is. So people start to notice, like, oh, that's interesting. And then it starts to compound. Then the business grows in so many ways. It really does start to snowball and get bigger and bigger. And so you have compound growth in so many different areas of your business. You start to improve your systems. The first time you do it, you might just email the client a response, or sort of email backwards and forwards to find a time to meet up. The next time you might go, okay, that I've wasted so much time doing that. I'm going to set up Calendly, or, a Google Calendar link, or whatever. So the next time you save, that time on that consult. So you're actually more profitable the next time. The next time you can put up your rates because you've got a little bit more experience and you've implemented a new element in your system. So every single time you do it, you're improving. You're starting to gather data in terms of, how are people finding me? Oh, I've got people who in the program, say, for instance, I'm thinking someone in Ireland, and she's been getting lots of clients through SEO. So you start to gather that data because you're doing more and more work and you're getting more and more feedback. Now, is that person at, the exact point they want to be in their business? No, they're still making improvements. They're still growing. They're still learning. They're still iterating, but they're earning while they're learning. So ask yourself, are you earning while you're learning? Because it's so easy, again, to really be stuck. Number 4, they are willing to believe that success is possible. Now, when I say this, if I was to ask them, do you believe that success is possible? There are some that would say yes. And there were some that would say, oh, I'm not sure, but they still are taking action. And so if you don't have that belief in yourself, what I want you to know is that the best way to believe that it's possible for you is to move into action, is that you need to go out there and start getting results. For those of you who are at the start of your journey, just start with friends and family. You will learn so much if you can create an incredible experience or a result, or you can implement your systems, you'll get referrals, and your business can grow that way. If you're already working with clients or you're selling a product or a service, something around those lines, really, it's so important to surround yourself with others who are already ahead of you on the journey, because that's how you can borrow belief, because you can see that, Susie is implementing these ideas and she's getting results. And, she's just shared that she implemented this strategy. Well, if it can work for her, then, maybe I should try. And so you start to see that it is possible. And it is possible for people who are doing similar things to you. And so that's why it's so good to be in a group with people who have similar types of businesses as well, similar types of values. So it really is important to believe that success is possible. And sometimes you have to believe despite the evidence. So if right now you feel like you don't have the evidence, then you need to go and gather evidence. And how do you do that? You go out there and you do the work and you get the feedback and you iterate. And like I say, earn while you learn, iterate and improve. These are they're so like core foundational strategies that we can try and trick ourselves in so many ways to not do this, but really this is how we will grow. This is how we will improve. And this was how ultimately we will get to where we want to go. I love this as well. Someone shared this within the Design and Grow community recently, just this week actually. And it was a quote from somebody else. And it says, confidence means believing in yourself. If you don't believe that what you have to offer is of any value, well, no one's going to pay for it. So you need to also believe that what you have created is of value. And the more that you step into that, the more that you believe that, and that you're not trying to push people to buy your product or buy your service, that you believe that like, if they have this thing, if they're searching for this particular product, and I know that this product is like, it's beautiful. If it's a physical product, I know that it's going to help them. I know it's going to add value to their home. I know it's going to add value to their lives. I know out of all the other products out there that this is a really, really good, option in relation to this particular product category, or if it's a service and you know that you can really help somebody and you can help people with their interiors or create beautiful imagery for them if you're a photographer. If you know that you can do that, focus on that and focus on helping that person. Get out of your own head about like, oh, what about me? And I feel so nervous and I feel so frightened and like kind of a little bit like self-pity. Stop, with the self-pity, and instead really focus on that person that you're going to be helping. That Airbnb owner who really needs those beautiful images so they can get more bookings, or that client who is completely overwhelmed by all the decisions that they need to make with their home. They've got a builder who's saying, okay, I need to order these windows. What's your decision? And if you know that you can help them make a quick decision or a decision that they're going to be really happy with, then, it is your obligation to go and help them. And when you lean into that, that's when you then start taking action. Then you start to feel more confident because you've actually got a result for someone. And then you start to believe, hey, I was able to help that person. I can help other people. And you're not trying to sell something. You're just letting people know how you can help them. And that's so important in terms of belief and confidence and all of those other ingredients. Sorry, I feel like I'm on a bit of a rampage today. Can you tell? I had a good night's sleep. Okay, number 5. It's all said with love. Please take it that way. Number 5, they are committed to their business no matter what. Now, I have definitely noticed a big distinction with those who have joined. There were many people who joined Design and Grow because it's an ongoing program at the end of last year. and they are still in the program. They're still doing their work. They're still showing up. And many of them are saying like, I want to keep doing this. Are you doing this next year? And, they're really like, they just want to keep going because they can see the results. They can see how it's helping hold them accountable. They can see the power of surrounding themselves with other people who are doing this work. And they are really committed to making their business work. And they're committed no matter what. They're committed even if they're going to face hurdles. They're committed even if they're going to have days where they feel like giving up. They're committed even if, they've maybe had a month that hasn't been as good as they hoped financially. Or they're committed even if someone on their team has made a mistake and they're having to solve it. And they're committed even if they realize that they need to implement systems and that's holding them back. They are committed to their business. There are a lot of people who expect results in a month and it's like, oh, that didn't work. That's too hard. I can't do that. They are never going to experience results in their business because at the first hurdle, they opt out. And at the first hurdle, they give up. And look, for some of you, maybe it's, a conversation you need to have with yourself. Maybe you need to be honest and sort of say, do you know what? Actually, maybe having my own business is not for me. Maybe I'm actually better off working for someone else because I love doing this skill set and I just want to do that work. I just want to be a technician. I just want to do the design work, or I just want to, style for somebody else, or I just want to, help somebody else grow their business. I just want to sort of work on a team. I don't actually want to be a business owner. I don't want to, do that kind of endeavor because it is complex. There are a lot of moving parts and, maybe you just want the safety and security or perceived safety and security because obviously, there are no guarantees when you're working for somebody else in terms of like, you can, be made redundant. I mean, there's lots of uncertainty in the economy. So, that maybe that is not quite worded correctly. However, you just don't want maybe the responsibility of, of growing a business. I mean, I personally think for me, I love it. I love the freedom that it gives me. I love that I can go and watch the assembly and I don't have to, feel guilty asking an employer. I love that I'm doing something that I'm really passionate about. I love that I can pivot my business and lean into different things. I love that, I'm not held accountable to somebody else's systems and processes that, if it would drive me nuts. I remember there were certain things about working in a corporate environment, like the bureaucracy and all of those things that would just drive me mental because it's like, this just seems so ineffective, or you feel like you just can't do the things that you really want to because there are, all of these restrictions in terms of certain things and politics and, staff politics and all of that stuff. So, for me, I actually love working for myself, having my own business and, it might be something that you need to think about. Like what type of work do you want to do? What type of life do you want to create for yourself? But if you do want to have your own business, if you want to be your own boss, if you want to have that kind of freedom, and have the upside of it as well and grow something that can, be bigger than you as well. And like, you can grow a team and like all the good things that can come with having your own business. You need to be committed to it. You need to stay the course, even if you face those road bumps and those hurdles along the way. Just yesterday, we did a member spotlight with an interior designer who's got 18 years of experience. And whenever I speak to her, she's so amazing. And I think, wow, I really wish some of the people who are at the start of their journey could listen to all the things that she is doing. She's got 2 children, like one who's got special needs, sort of health challenges, and the other one who is quite prodigious in a particular field for her sport. And so she's traveling around the world with one child. She's meeting the needs of another child, running a business, got a team of, I think, 4 people. And I thought like, wow, somebody who's at the beginning of their journey thinks like, oh, this is hard, I don't have the time. And I think, wow, when you look at some people who are further ahead on their journey and they've got a team, they've got family responsibilities, they've got huge financial responsibilities with their business, and they're making it happen. And, to be surrounding yourself with people like that is so important as well, because we can get so caught into like our little bubble of like, oh, this feels hard, or I don't know how to put myself out there, or I'm struggling with the time. And then you see someone out there who is achieving so much and doing so much, and it just shows what is possible, which kind of loops back to, I think it was number 4, the previous point. So, but like I said, I have really noticed that the people who are getting results are the ones who are really committed to not only my program Design and Grow, but they are really committed to their business. They're in it for the long term. And so I think that's a really important question to ask yourself. Are you in this for the long term? Are you, going to play the long game? Because when you play the long game, you don't always get those like super quick results, but you get the best growth over the long term, and you get the most stable business, and you ultimately create the most security and, that freedom that we hear so much about by, all the gurus out there. But it really is the key to success, is to play the long game and be committed to your business. All right, I'm going to do a quick review in terms of these 5 markers. And like I said, I think I'm hoping it's really helpful for you to sort of think about where you are in terms of your business and what you might need to reframe or rethink in relation to what are your roadblocks right now. Okay, number 1 is that they act as a business owner, not just a freelancer or a contractor or a technician, and they're working on and not just in their business. Number 2, they create, not just consume. So this is the implementers. They're actually implementing ideas. They're not just, absorbing information and kind of having those light bulb moments, but they're like, okay, I'm going to take this information and I'm going to implement it. They take imperfect action, so they don't get stuck on being perfect. They instead say, okay, I'm just going to do the best that I can with what I've got right now, and I'm going to learn while I earn. I'm going to implement and iterate, and I'm going to experience growth that way. They believe it's possible. Or even if they don't believe, they believe despite the evidence. And so how do they get that evidence? They go out, take action, they get the evidence that way, and then that's how they then start to believe it's possible. And number 5 is that they are committed. They're willing to play the long game. And these, as I said, have been the 5 markers that I have noticed through coaching, more than 100 creative business owners this year. The ones who are really experiencing the results, the growth in their business, that kind of freeing up their time, they're getting better with their systems, they're getting more clients, they're generating more revenue. These are 5 key markers that is showing up with all of them. And the ones who are struggling, it really is, the converse of that is that they're getting caught up in perfectionism, or they're sort of getting caught up in their mindset, or they're sort of expecting a result after a month and then they're giving up. So, I really encourage you to think about where you are and where you perhaps can look at making some improvements. And like I said, if you really want to start to experience more growth in your business, I will be teaching a free workshop this week. So you've just got like a very short window to sign up to this. And if you really want to know some strategies to get more clients and cash flow in your business, don't forget to register. Go to nataliewalton.com/roadmap. And I can't wait to share some strategies with you to really help you start to accelerate and thrive in your creative business. Like I said, these are based on the strategies that I'm sharing within my program, Design and Grow. And I'm going to be sharing them with you, what's working and what you really need to implement to start getting some results. So I would love to see you there. And if not, I hope you have a great week. And I will see you very soon. There will be another episode coming out very, very shortly. All right. Thanks so much. Have a great week, everyone. Bye. All of the links and info for this episode are at nataliewalton.com/podcast. Don't forget to subscribe so that you can get a direct download of the latest episode. And I really appreciate when you take a minute to rate and review, as well as share the love with someone you know who might benefit from this episode, or on social media. If you'd like to access a range of free resources, come visit my website, nataliewalton.com. Thank you to Jaeger Media for producing this podcast. And I would also like to acknowledge the people of the Bundjalung Nation where it was recorded, and pay my respects to elders past, present, and emerging. I look forward to connecting again soon. I'm Natalie Walton, and you've been listening to Imprint.